So yesterday I started filming a tutorial to show you all how to make use of a bunch of little scrap pieces of vinyl and cork and whatever that you have left over from your various sewing projects. And while I was mid-project going along, I suddenly had a strike of inspiration, and so I'm going to upload that as a separate tutorial, but I don't want to cram too much into one and make it too long. So this is going to just be an overview of what I kind of stumbled upon last night. I'm not the very first person to discover it, but it was a unique thought to me, and I was pretty excited about it. So I am now going to walk you through it. And essentially, the idea was how to make our tassel project more attractive. Sorry, I walked away for just a second. So I made this tassel, and it's pretty and I like it, but the inside is meh, kind of looks like straw. While I was cutting them out, I thought, oh, how fun would it be if we could put heat transfer vinyl on the reverse side of our scrap material. And I think it looks amazing. I like it much better this way. Okay, so that was the original origin thought, and then the neurons started firing. Started to have some more ideas. So this is a pocket pal. This is a pattern from Lynn's Handmade. This is in process, and I thought, oh, I don't have to line the back of my pocket pals anymore with fabric. I can start using heat transfer vinyl. So I was able to put my zipper in much more easily with one layer without having to try to get that box. I always miss the box on the other side. Because I'm not the best wallet and bag maker. I'm good at sewing other things, but I'm just not great with these yet. I'm still learning too. This was so much easier when I just had the one layer to do. And then I was so excited that I forgot to put on my dang zipper pull. So then I thought, okay, well now I have messed up my cork and I don't want to throw this away. So now I'll use some heat transfer vinyl and I'll cover up that wonky zipper line. Stitch line, and so that's what I did. So ultimately I'm going to put the ribbon here for the card slots, and then I will iron this onto the back of this cork, and then it will be finished on the inside. This is a flocked heat transfer vinyl, and I don't know if you can hear it. Sorry about the fingernails, by the way. I had to take off my other fingernails. This is really soft and velvety, and it's lovely. So this is me just playing around and adding some accents, trying to incorporate this crazy wonky doodle thing. And then I will probably mess up these credit card slots as well. So then I cut some pieces so that I can iron those on and cover up the stitch line. So if you're like me and you're still trying to get better with your top stitching on these kinds of projects, maybe heat transfer vinyl is a way that you can add an accent and cover up those wonky bits until we all do a little bit better. Okay, so that is the idea, and now I want to do some experimenting with all of you. Since I'm the one who came up with this idea, I should be the one willing to try to figure out how to make it not work, so that you are not ruining your supplies and I'm not sending you out there into the world kind of blaming me once you melt your vinyl. So I did it yesterday on Cricut's faux leather vinyl, actually faux leather sheets. I also did it on some kind of stretchy marine vinyl from Joanne, and then on the cork that you just saw. Tonight I have a variety of different kinds of vinyls so that we can kind of go over them together. But before that, I want to talk about what is HTV, or heat transfer vinyl. It's a special kind of vinyl, and this is Cricut brand here. And I want to point out, just in case there are folks out there who don't know, it looks really similar to this one, but this one is just regular sticky vinyl. It's not heat transfer vinyl. So it's important that you look at the rolls, and somewhere here it is, it will tell you, like here, iron on. And so when it says iron on, that's how you know that it is, in fact, you guessed it, iron on. Okay, this one is not. So even though it looks like the other one. The other way you can tell, so I have I have drawers full of vinyl rolls that I have not kept the instructions with. Now this one here looks like it could certainly be heat transfer from the front, and it looks almost identical, you know, in sheen to this one, but the backs are different, and that's how you can tell. So the back on this one has this kind of white background, and this one has checkerboard or a grid pattern. So this one is not, this is just regular adhesive vinyl. Okay. All right, so I will stop talking ad nauseum and kind of get to going here. So I have a heat press. This is from a one that I got from Jeff Bezos. I helped send his family to Hawaii, I swear. So this is a one from Amazon. I don't know if they're still selling it or not, but I also have my household iron plugged in here too, so we can try that as well. Give it, I know everybody might not have a heat press. So my thought is that we're going to try a few different vinyls and see how they interact and see if anything bad happens to them. So first up, this is from Wizard-Free Stitchery. This is a waterfall vinyl. It's thick, it's almost foam-like, and it's flocked on the back. It's very, very soft. It's very supple, has a little bit of give, a little bit of stretch. And this is a holographic heat transfer vinyl on the back. So I'm gonna pop this here, and my plan is to iron it with the HTV on top. Okay, this is just some cork that we did last night and some metallic. Okay, so there's that one. Oops, sorry about that. Didn't mean to hit you. Okay, and then this is a specialty glow-in-the-dark glitter vinyl, and I believe this is from Bob and Jen's Odds and Ends. And then this is a thick heat transfer vinyl here. Okay, so let's start off with these three. And this is the Teflon sheet that came with my heat press. Now, if I were doing this on purpose, I would really make sure that I had these layers together nicely. I'm going to just leave it here and hit the timer. And of course, I didn't set it right. Oh, we'll just guess. Nah, forget the timer. Okay, so we'll just go yada, 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 yada. I'm an idiot. There's an actual timer on my camera counting down right now, so I'm going to stop saying yada, yada, yada and pick up this guy. It's been about 10 seconds. Okay, so it's been about 10 seconds. Let's see if it's adhered. Oh, I should also mention that I'm an avid baker and cook, and I have a little bit of Teflon hands. I'm not very heat sensitive, so maybe you might want to be a little bit more careful when you're picking these up. So it's stuck on there. Comes up with a little bit. So I think that needs to stay on there a little bit longer, but the cork is fine. Let's try this one. Okay, so this one, I don't know if you can kind of see that the plastic is changing texture here. There, you can see it. So that means that the plastic coating has kind of melted, and I think this one would be ready to take off. You can still peel it though. So I'm going to give this just a little bit of time, but there's absolutely no damage to the vinyl. And let's check this guy. This one doesn't look any different at all on the top. It's harder to peel, but I could, and absolutely no damage to the vinyl. And that's the most important part, that we're not damaging our vinyl because this stuff is so dang expensive. Okay, so let's give it a few more seconds. I have it set at about 3:15. I don't know if I said that earlier or not. And actually, yeah, let's do this one. Here. All right, I'm gonna look now. Give it 10 more seconds. Okay. Try it again. Hopefully you don't mind this experimenting. If it's not your favorite and you just want to skip to the end, I can show these all at the end when they're done. So this is still kind of peeling up. I think the problem is that it's hot and I need to just let it sit for a minute to let that glue activate. But again, still no trouble whatsoever with the cork. And I think what I'm going to end up doing is just leaving it under there for a good 30 and see if we can purposely damage this vinyl, because it's perfect. The other thing I want to mention is that when you purchase your heat transfer vinyl, the instructions will tell you whether or not it is a cold peel or a hot peel or a warm peel, meaning once you've pressed it, do you need to let it cool down before you try to remove the protectant layer that's on it, or do you do it while it's hot or warm? I'm also notorious for throwing away interfacing labels. How's this for riveting YouTube time? Okay. I think that's a good long while. It's way longer than I would have been comfortable with before tonight in leaving my vinyl underneath the hot iron. Okay, let's see. Okay, cork is absolutely perfect. Setting it aside. The glitter, glow in the dark, is absolutely perfect. And this one is perfection. Okay, so absolutely no damage. All right, so the next ones we're going to do are the really good stuff. So this is my backstitch vinyl and some holographic or some glitter heat transfer vinyl. This is from my punk broidery, and it's almost like a plastic vinyl, and then a neon green or neon yellow, very curly piece. This one is not the good stuff. This is from Joann. It's just the regular marine vinyl. And last but not least, I have this cork. This is from Sally Tomato, and it's paper thin. It's very, very thin. I don't know, I can't tear it, but it's like, you can wad it up. It's crazy thin. So I'm going to try that one. This time I'm going to use the regular household iron, since I'm sure more of you have that. Ignore the noise while I move the stuff out of my way. Okay. So I have it set on the cotton setting. It's best not to wiggle your iron around. It's best to just leave it in one place. So let's count that. I'm going to give it 15 more seconds or so. I don't math, so. Okay, I'm going to move it over. The ways in which I think that this will be helpful is for things like the tassels, but also if you want to have, you know, easy boxy bags that you do and you don't want to have to spend the time doing a separate liner and you want to hide some of the seams. I think this, you know, might really do well in that kind of a setting. The backs of your snap tabs, the backs of your in the hoop embroidery projects. Somebody had asked about that today. I think that would be an excellent use for this. Okay, so if you don't have one of these Teflon sheets, just use some parchment paper to protect your iron and your vinyl. So here's that paper thin cork, and it's fine. Set that aside. Here's our backstitch vinyl. Ooh, it is hot. Hot, hot. But it's completely fine. There's absolutely no flaw whatsoever. It didn't stick very well here, so I think it needs a little bit more time. Let's really zap it and see if we can damage it. I should turn the steam off. So speaking of vinyl and ironing, when a lot of times I get my vinyl at Joann in the remnant section, and they have it folded and then rolled, and the wrinkles can be pretty terrible. I just iron the back of it, even without any kind of a protectant sheet, and then get it nice and hot and then stretch it a little bit. Also, when I embroider it, and sometimes if my stitching kind of causes some craters, I'll also iron the stitching and then pull it like this to kind of get it to lie flat, and then lay it underneath a big pile of books. Okay. This is like hot potato. Okay, so here is the back stitch, and it also is perfect. There is no damage to it. It might be a little bit less shiny. Let me grab an unironed piece. So we can compare. No, same sheen. It's lovely. Great. Okay, so the iron didn't bother that one. And let's go to the other two. I feel bad. I feel like I'm wasting your time. Hopefully you're not bored to death. Okay, last two. And I'm going to use the heat press just because then I don't have to move it around, so I can get to the end faster for you. So while that is sitting there, I'm going to go a good 30 seconds on that. I'm going to start peeling the plastic. I wish that I could like tell funny jokes and try to peel the back off of this at the same time, but that's how I end up needing stitches. I'm not the most graceful person. Okay, I will say that this, on the back of this waterfall vinyl from Wizardry Stitchery, well, okay, so Krystal. Okay, so I messed this up. I don't know, this is what I get for not having the instructions. I'll show you in a second. Let me rescue this guy. I'm not sure if you've ever used this neon, but it smells horrible. Okay, so there's our things. Okay, so look at this magical thing I did. I don't know how. I'm gonna have to go back and try to find the instructions for this one, because I'm pretty sure this is not the magic we were going for. So this is paper, so meh, ignore this one. I promised you that I would screw up my stuff, not yours, right? Okay, let's see about this one. Okay, this is a scrap piece of vinyl that I had messed up on with weaving the project. So the lines that are in here, that's because there's some words that I didn't end up using. But this looks really good. And this is stuck on there really nicely. That would not come off. Okay, so this one is a win. This one is, I think, gonna be a win. Okay, so I don't really like that. I mean, I think it could have its use, like in a 1970s Solid Gold Dancing remake, but it's not what I was hoping for. So, and I think the problem is that I did this as a cold peel rather than a hot peel, because I used the same one last night on that and it didn't have that same effect. Okay, this is the vinyl that we just did from my punk embroidery, and I will tell you, I'm not sure if it's picking up on here, but the texture, yeah, you can see it right there. So the texture of this is now embedded into this. So I think if I were to do it again, I would probably put this down on the bottom because this is slick, and then put a piece of parchment, or put a piece of parchment down first. So That is the only drawback, although it doesn't, I mean, it looks like it's on purpose. And there you go. That one is on there really nicely. Okay. Almost done. This is that same scrap glitter HTV, and this is coming off nicely. Okay, no problem. Oh, and when I cut those tassels last night, I did it after this had been done. So I fused it, peeled it, and then cut it just so that it wouldn't be so much for my Cricut to have to go through. And I did it the vinyl side down. Okay, so here's that same gold I used on the paper thin cork. Oh, actually the other one was not the paper thin cork. And again, I think that we're getting this effect because I should have peeled this when it was still warm. Okay, but it's not coming off. I could not peel that off even if I wanted to. It won't come off. Okay, do I have one more? Oh, this one. Okay, so this is the Joanne Marine Vinyl. You can see the texture is still perfect, no flaws. Perfection. Okay, so don't just stop at one color. What I was thinking, we're coming up on graduation time, and it would be amazing to do some of those tassels, like if they were for high school and you did them in your school's color. And so maybe you get a few, you get a nice cork or a nice leather, and then you put stripes of the color, the vinyl down in stripes, the HTV, and then when you cut it out, the back side of your tassels will be variegated. So that might be fun. I don't know, there's all kinds of things that we can do. I'm so excited about this. If you do something exciting with it, or if you have questions, will you leave me a comment and let me know? I'm hoping that you all get inspired to do amazing things with it too. Thank you for letting me take up your time. Bye-bye.